Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. James Bodock is on death row. All the rappers are stepping up to speak for him, but there's a question. Is this a good poster boy for lyrics being used against you in a court of law? Because this has made it to the Supreme Court. This is James Bodock back then. I'm going to show you pictures of him now, let you see what's going on. Make sure you watch this to the end. All right? This is about James Bodock. That's him and his lovely lady. We seen him when he was 19 years old. I'm going to play an interview that he did that you must stay and watch. But first, I'm going to play this so you understand what this case is about. Young Thug, Fat Joe, Travis Scott, a number of rappers stepped up because they're using this young man's lyrics against him. But I got to keep it real over here, Unique Mecca Audio. They also using his tape confession showing no remorse right after the incident and using those lyrics in videos as well. So it's double standard on there, all right? They're saying the rap lyrics is made up, but then we have a real life's confession that he made, and you're gonna hear it. Some of y'all may feel that it's chilling, to be honest. But let's play this out so you know what went to the Supreme Court and what's going on.
The Supreme Court just got a brief that could change how music is used in court. It centers on James Bodock, a man sentenced to death after prosecutors used 40 pages of his rap lyrics against him. I know what you're thinking, rap lyrics as evidence? Isn't that protected art? Well, that's the argument that a group of amicus brief writers, including Grammy-winning rapper Killer Mike, is arguing, that the state of Texas used those lyrics to stoke racial bias. They say prosecutors didn't use the lyrics to prove he committed the crime. Instead, they introduced them during the sentencing phase to convince a nearly all-white jury that Bodock was, quote, a super predator. Now, the brief highlights what supporters are calling a massive double standard. When Johnny Cash sang, "I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die," he won a Grammy. But when a young black man writes rap lyrics, prosecutors, well, they're calling it a confession, or even a master plan. Now, supporters argue that that's weaponizing cultural expression. According to the filing, the jury, they asked to review the lyrics not once, but twice before ultimately deciding on the death penalty. And now you got scholars and artists and legal advocates that are all urging the Supreme Court of the United States to look closer. They're arguing that
hopefully. What do you think is going to happen to you now?
Right here. Hold on.
Hopefully the death penalty.
Hold on, young man. Hold on. Now, we're going to play this so you understand. They use the rap lyrics, yes, but they also use this interview that he did right after the murder so that you could understand that this is deeper than that. The lyrics, very good point to take Supreme Court. They should never be able to do that. But here we have a live confession. And listen to this. This when he was 19, and then I just showed you when he was older. Let me find him, show you what he looks like today. All right, this is him and his lady today trying to save his life today. Pay attention to that. He's trying to save his life today from being executed. So this is going to show you how a young boy from the ghetto grew up to elevate past the traumas and the trials and tribulations that he faced on the street. But it took prison to get his head where he needed to be, to know that he has the ability to love this beautiful woman and be ready to move on with a life with her. Where I'm going to show you this video now of before, so we get this right. All right, let me get this up for you. All right, this is the interview. Let's go.
Let me get you to go ahead and tell us your first and last name.
James Bodock.
Spell your last name, James.
Broadee.
All right, James, and you're 19?
Yep.
Okay, tell me why you agreed to do an interview today.
Cause I want to tell my story.
What is your story?
I don't want nobody, you know what I'm saying, sugarcoat shit. I'm gonna tell y'all what it is, you know what I'm saying? Straight up.
Okay.
I don't need my cousin, my auntie, or none of them motherfuckers to tell shit for me.
What do you want to say?
What y'all want to know?
Tell me what happened
interviewing
in
me.
the parking lot of that recording studio.
What happened?
What happened?
Killed that bitch ass. Shit.
Why?
Fuck, man. All them gonna ask me the same thing. Or you want me to just tell you the whole story?
Yes.
Alright.
All right, let me explain this to you, right, so y'all understand. This is the world that I'm from, and this is the world that a lot of y'all watching this is from, and this is the world that a lot of y'all watching this is from work so hard to make sure your children don't have to experience. Because I felt like this when I was his age. That's when I ran the streets and carried 2 pistols and ran buck wild. I felt like this, and it took prison to reform me, or for me to reform myself while incarcerated in prison. Because I could have stayed incarcerated and did nothing, like a lot of my comrades I know didn't do nothing and still did. And some even made it out and still didn't do nothing. But I chose to do something to better myself. So that's why I showed you this picture of James Bodock and his wife. Keep that in mind as you're watching this, because this is him now. So I don't want to be none of these rat bastards and flip-flop wearing and public trolls trying to say I'm just painting this picture. No, I'm showing you both pictures. They're arguing the rap lyrics, but they also have this cold-hearted, callous confession that they showed to the jury, and then had the lyrics from his rap music after hearing this young man talk like this. So pay attention, share this video with everyone you know, because they need to see what happens deep in the underbelly of the ghettos. Not the bling bling the rapper show. All right, let's get back to this, right? This is where you have lost touch with reality. You lost touch with your soul, your emotions. You have no feelings. You have no desire. You just motivated to keep moving forward and causing havoc. And that's where he's at. Listen to this video.
See, what happened was, you know what I'm saying, got up. See, I ain't just wake up, you know what I'm saying, playing like I'm finna go kill somebody today, or, you know, no shit like that, you know what I'm saying? It just happened like that, sort of kind of, you know what I'm saying? So shit, just like a normal day, got up, smoked my weed, you know what I'm saying? I let a couple bitches or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Me and my cousin, we hopped on the bus, you know what I'm saying? Like shit, we was on, the scenario, we was gonna already go down anyway, you know what I'm saying? But who to say somebody was gonna be dead, you know what I'm saying? We just.
He's trying to say the scenario is the robbery. They was going to rob somebody anyway, but who's to say that they was going to die? See where the mentality's at? This is what you call mollifying. He's justifying, you know, the homicide by sitting there saying that, you know, it was going to happen anyway, you know? But, you know, who's to say it was going to be you know, that with the robbery?
Going to hit a lick, you know what I'm saying? Or shit, whatever came with it. So, we was on the bus, you know what I'm saying, in downtown Dallas. Like shit, man, fuck that, you know what I'm saying? Let's hop on the train. Let's go to downtown Garden, you know what I'm saying? And we gonna rob somebody. Y'all the niggas with the money, just being real. Let's go out there where the rich white folks stay at, you know what I'm saying? Rob one of them, you know what I'm saying? So we get out there, and shit, time just ticking, like, man, fuck it, you know what I'm saying? Shit, something gotta go down, dog, cause it's a long ass walk back to South Dallas, you know what I'm saying? So shit, we walking through, by, you know what a recording thing is, right? You know what I'm saying? In the bank right behind it. So we walking through the parking lot, you know what I'm saying? And shit, somebody, I guess the motherfucker who was on the passenger side of the car, whatever, he was out there burning something, you know what I'm saying? And he threw the shit in the dumpster, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, dog, you know you can get a ticket for that, right? It's vandalism, you know what I'm saying? So we got the chopping it up and shit, you know what I'm saying? Talking about the studio, cause I rap and all that good shit, you know what I'm saying? So, like shit, fuck, you know what I'm saying? We finna get ready to leave. I went back and asked him, like, man, y'all got one of y'all got a cigarette? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So shit, he went to go reach for it, pulled the pistol, shot him, shot the driver, whoever the fuck he was. Shit, he like, the one I shot at first, he stumbled back, you know what I'm saying, like dropped, got back up like he was finna run. The one I hit second, you know what I'm saying, he raised up like he was finna do something, so I shot him in the head, you know what I'm saying. Then the other one, shit, shot him twice in the head. Just make sure, fuck that, you know what I'm saying, I don't need that shit, you know what I'm saying, lay that shit down. You know what I'm saying, so me and my cousin ran they pipes, you know what I'm saying, got the key, got their wallet and shit. Hopped in the driver, hopped in the passenger side, we dipped.
Let me say rest in peace to the two men that lost their lives. Rest in peace to them. But this is what we're trying to prevent from happening and spawning out of our neighborhoods over here at Unique Mecca Audio. That's why we do these videos, because we showing you that this is him then. And you hear how callous he is? And here he is 17 years later, with his fiance, his lady, his wife. I don't know the relationship, but she's somebody to him. And he has a heart now. So this shows you that we can change. And sometimes it takes drastic situations and decades away. But let's get back to this joint. Could we ride?
So they did nothing to you or nothing to provoke you, but you just felt that you could take their life?
When they, you know what I'm saying, I just blanked out, you know what I'm saying, like, when that shit happened. Cause, man, I ain't ever killed nobody before, you know what I'm saying, I done shot at some people, ain't no problem if you pull a pistol, you know what I'm saying, I don't give a fuck about no gunplay, you know what I'm saying, shit.
Here there's a 19-year-old man on the streets of America saying, I don't give a crap about no gunplay. And then you have places like Australia that barely even get 10, you know, unalivings a year. They say, I don't give a crap about no gunplay. You see this? This is what we have to extract from the youth so that they know that their lives is worth more, because just from the tap of a finger could alter the course of so many people, including the ones we love the most. Because you're going to hear at the end of this, you're going to give a shout out to his mama, his auntie, and his family members and things like that, you know, to show that he did have people that he cared about, but he just didn't know how to love. But now he grew up, he know how to love, and now he's trying to save his damn life. And we're not trying to get y'all to get up in that situation to have to find out that you love by being on death row 17 years from now.
You killed two young men now.
Better their life than mine.
Do you have any remorse? None whatsoever.
Do it look like?
What would you say to either of these families? They leave behind babies and widows.
I got a family too.
See, that's what you call straight mollifying. She asked him, what would, you know, how do you think the babies and the families that he left behind feel? And, you know, to justify him taking a man's life, he says, well, I got a family too. That's called mollifying in psychology. I learned that when I went to take 3,500 hours in the Federal Bureau of Prison to learn why I was so twisted that I wouldn't even tell on my own brother that was deceased to get out of prison, because under the code and the oath that I took, that's still ratting whether you're dead or alive. You know, I mean, that's just how I felt about it. You know, many people feel differently about it, and, you know, it's a conversation that I've heard people have about it, but I'm not going to get into that. I just want to ride right now.
So you're going to, what do you think is going to happen to you now?
Whatever they throw in.
See?
Hopefully the death penalty.
Hopefully?
Yes.
Why do you hope?
Can they give me life? I'm going to kill somebody else. Straight up. I'm telling you right now. I can't do no motherfucking life. I'm going to go crazy.
Did you hear that, right? So not only the rap lyrics, right? The 40 pages of rap lyrics that they introduced after the trial. They didn't even put that into the trial. You know, the crazy part is back then, 2009, they probably didn't even think to put it in the trial. And then when they heard this confession, or got a wind of this confession, they said, oh man, we could use this to show corroborating evidence from the interview that the rap lyrics is more likely to be carried out by this young man by the callousness and emotionless and heartless and remorsefulness interview that he did while they was burying the victims. And that's the way the prosecutor bring it up to him to get it just so you understand. But listen to this. He's even going to tell you that, I'm going to tell the judge the same thing. How do you tell a jury that if you don't kill me, I'm going to kill again and think you're going to get a second chance? That goes to show that this young man was not thinking like a lot of us was not thinking, and a lot of you right now today watching and listening to this is not thinking. That you don't want it to take 17 years or 7 years for you to be in prison to find out that your life has a purpose. And that's why I say man time. Man time is growing up. See, when he was here, you couldn't tell him nothing. When I was dead, you couldn't tell me nothing. It took incarceration for my tough ass to learn. Just like it took incarceration for his tough ass to learn. Not saying that he couldn't have learned not going in, but he needed a structure, a support system around him in order for it to work. And like he said, right, okay, man, you know, but this man told him that if you don't send me to death row, I'm going to kill again because I can't do life. And I'm going to tell it to the judge. Listen to this.
So you want the death penalty?
They better pick one. Or you gonna have some more bodies.
See?
Oh, and here you're going to kill someone?
Nah, whichever penitentiary they send me to. They better put me on death row. Tell you just like I'm gonna tell the judge.
See?
And then the motherfuckers that Garland anyway already told me, oh, you fucked up. Well, maybe so. Everybody gotta die someday.
And you see, that's another form of mollifying. I hope y'all really pay attention to this. He said, you messed up. And he said, yeah, well, people got to die sometime anyway. That's trying to justify your wrong with a right. Either you're wrong or you're right. So don't say, yeah, you know, but somebody got to die anyway. If you got to say, but it ain't real. Just like somebody, right, let's take a ride. I'm going to give you a little jewels right now. I'm going to take you on a ride. Just like if somebody say, man, you know, I'm sorry I hit your car, you know, but, you know, I wasn't looking out the rearview mirror. Once they say but, that means they're not sorry because they're making an excuse or a form of mollifying the wrong for hitting your car. Regardless if you wasn't looking out the rearview mirror, your foot hit the gas by mistake, you was thinking about your girl that pissed you off, you was thinking about, you know, your man cheating on you, whatever it is. The reality is you hit the car. Not, but I was thinking about my man cheating on me. Come on, dog. Where they get that at? All right, let's ride.
I think people tonight will hear your side of the story and almost think this is sick that you feel this way. How do you respond to that?
How I respond? Fuck.
You already said, he said, F him. That go to show when he was deep into the streets. And I got to show this again so you can see this is that brother today trying to spare his life. So whatever they have out there for you to sign, his name is James Bodock. Please support the brother because you can see just by looking at him that that's not the same young man we looking at. So, you know, Google the name and do what you can to help this brother. And like I said earlier, rest in peace to the two young men that lost their lives as well. All right, it's a lot to this story. I may cover some more, but let's get back to this. You know, we like to ride.
Fuck. Even if they celibate. I know the game is crazy. It's no crazier than the silver bit. I'm married to that crazy bitch, Copper Kevin Federally.
He talking about the game is crazy as it's ever been, and he's deep in it, and he's married to Kevin Sutherland. Do you see how he has no remorse for life? That let's just get it.
Anything else you wanted to say?
I do want to tell my mama, my brother, and I'm gonna give y'all their names so they'll know who the fuck I'm talking about. Audra Kelly, Aaron Easton, Nakia Martin, and Korean Martin. I love y'all, dog. Take care of my motherfucking nephews and nieces.
Is it your...
See, he said that so you understand his frame of mind at this point in his life, coming from the environment that he came from, is like he's going off to war and he may not be coming back. Take care of my mama while I go off to go fight this war. You know? He say, man, y'all take care of my nieces and nephew while I go serve this time. Hold it down out there. You know, I'm married to the game. This is my street code. This is my destiny. And then the crazy thing is, this case shifts, right? Because it rides all over the place, right? This case shifts to where his cousin, who was with him now, is saying that he is the one who shot the two people that lost their lives, not, you know, James Bodock. But James Bodock confessed to it, but then the cousin now that he says it, of course, the judge is going to say, hey, you're just lying for your cousin to save him from, you know, getting executed. But then his cousin came out and said that, nah, my DNA was on the gun. It wasn't my cousin's name on the gun. I never been in trouble. My cousin tried to look out for me, but now it's eating at me, and, you know, I'm confessing that I'm the one that shot those people. But one thing for sure, two things for certain, this tape right here that we're looking at will be coming back up at any hearing, trying to say that this is how this young man is now, when this is how he is now. So they got to paint the picture, right? The prosecution have to paint the picture from this, right, to this. And let's get back to this ride.
Your aunt who turned you in?
To be honest, I don't even know. You know what I'm saying? The story I got,
That was
my auntie snitched on me. My cousin, soon as they locked us up in Garland, you know what I'm saying, in the feds, or the lieutenants got up in his face talking about all that time, he broke down and started crying. You know what I'm saying? Just like a hoe.
Did he pull?
I pulled the trigger. He was just there. That's accomplished the murder though. You know what I'm saying? But I'm probably get the death penalty. He gonna probably get 25 to life. Ain't no telling.
But you pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
And you robbed these guys?
Murked both of them now. We robbed them. I killed them.
How much
I
money
popped
did
that bitch ass, you know what I'm saying? He ran their pockets. We hopped in the slab and dipped.
How much money did you get from them?
Shit, I don't know. I wasn't finna go to no damn ATM. I ain't that, you know what I'm saying? That don't make sense.
What did you think when the police caught up to you?
What I think? When they hit the lights, I said, damn. And started laughing, you know what I'm saying? Just like I'm doing now. And looked them in their face with a big ass smirk.
And you know what's crazy, right? I was gonna say funny, but I know you rat bastards don't understand when you come to a gangster channel and he bears his soul and keep it 100. I know the feeling he's feeling right there, because it's like when they ran down on me and they grabbed me and put me in the back of the police car and put the handcuffs on me and all the lights was going on around me. I just looked around and I just looked at them. I'm handcuffed behind me. I just looked at them and I said, damn, y'all finally got me, huh? You know? And they just looked at me like I was crazy. And because I'm laughing. And I don't see what you think is so funny. You got a gas chamber before you waiting in Virginia. We take you to Virginia, put you in the gas chamber. And I'm looking at them like, yeah, but whatever. Anything is better than this. At least I ain't got to work so hard. You know, and I'm making fun and light of it. But that's where my mind frame was at. That's why I understand where his mind frame is at. He don't care about nothing right there. But now we're not dealing with that young man now. We're dealing with this grown man now that had time to lay in his cell and reflect on who he is. And we really need to support this brother, because if my black ass could change, anybody could change. For a lot of my comrades that I seen came home that's also doing things successful in the community, just like Unique Mecca Audio. You know, look at Lou Sims Renewed, you know. He got a youth program where I walked around in the rain with Lou Sims, Farris, and, you know, Darren and everybody, you know, Backface, Papa Sean, Papa Sean, Papa Stopper. You understand what I'm saying? Eric Martin, you know, Zip little son. We all walked around out there. Me and Dap took videos from 140 Wolves, and Lou's handing out food to the homeless when we all on Park Ave and 126 bringing up boxes of food. And we the same ones was feeding them that poison that got them laid out on the street now in 2024 when we went out there, 25. But here it is today, instead of coming with poison, we're bringing them food with nourishment. So if we could change, this brother could change. Support this petition, find out where it's at. His name is James Bodock. They trying to talk about strapping that man down to the joint. Let's play this video.
Y'all ain't got shit on me, dog. But I do want to see the evidence. Yeah, I killed him, but what evidence y'all got on me? I know y'all ain't got no videotape, no fingerprints, but in the car.
Just can't believe you killed 2 people and you're laughing about it.
Yeah.
And she don't even understand why he's laughing. He's laughing because he don't care. He has no remorse. Don't you understand when you at that phase in your life when everything is against you and it's do or die? I got to get mine at any cost, and I don't care who lose their lives along that path as long as I'm still standing 10 toes down and breathing. That's the mentality he's at. And there's a lot of them out there right now today like that I'm trying to reach right now that I'm hoping is hearing me. Like I said, look at this tough ass right here at 19, you know? And look at this grown man here at 37. Well, let me get this back rolling.
Like when they stick that damn needle in my woman, they gonna laugh at me. Look at that nigga. Dumb motherfucker. You know how y'all is, dog. Fuck, just like I said. Fuck his family too, both of them.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm gonna keep having to go back to this because this can be you looking at this. So if y'all don't share this, put it in the comments if you know somebody heading down this path. Put it in the comments. This could be you. This is a great tutorial to show him at 19 and him now at 37 pleading for his life when he was saying, man, I don't care who died, mother F, everybody, the judge, the family, Jesus, the devil, everybody, this man cursed. Young man cursed. And now this man is saying, man, spare me. I knew not what I did when I was a youth, so please don't take my life. I've already been condemned and served my debt to society. Please give me a chance by not strapping me down on that dirty table. You know, that's where this is at right now. You know, if y'all got any things y'all want me to speak on, man, send it to you know, this text or just send it to Instagram at Unique Mecca Audio, man. Let me get back to my man's confession so y'all understand, you know, what a demon looked like at the time, you know? And it's the demon that's been reformed right here.
Anybody, do you have anything, Patrick? Okay. Anything else?
I said I love you, my family, didn't I? Yeah, make sure my mama see that.
How much of your life have you spent in jail?
Shit, I was locked up in juvie for a good 6 months. Spent a couple of days in jail, regular jail, for possession of controlled substance. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. I ain't got no dirty ass record. You know what I'm saying? Look at my shit, it's clean.
Not anymore.
Yeah, fuck it. Only God can judge me.
Watch this.
What do you think? How do you think you'll be judged?
Fuck him too. The devil and his army too. Fuck all of them.
Do you know someone like this? And you know the crazy part, right? I'm gonna take a ride with you, right? I feel like riding. We've already been on here, 28 minutes, and I'm still riding because this is really interesting. Let me tell you this. They had a thing come out because it was saying that people were sitting on death row too long. So in 1996, they signed the AEDPA, Anti-Death Penalty Effective Act, right? ADPA. They signed that into place saying that because they're saying people was on death row too long. It was taking 20, 30 years for people to finally get executed on death row, and they said taxpayer money was paying it. So now, you know, they was trying to say they need to rush the execution, that they, you know, shouldn't be using taxpayers' money to drag it out. But this is a prime example being shown in your face right now that if they was to execute this young man 5 years after this happened, 3 years after it happened, you know, when he was still young, they wouldn't have gotten the change that they got now. If they can't look back and see that the time that he sat on death row, the demon got out because he had a chance to get with his thoughts and get away from the environment that he was in. So to say that you're going to execute him 26 years later or 17 years later, when you said he was scheduled for execution 17 years ago, but you done dragged it out till now you got him wanting to live. Now James Bodock Bonax, want to live. He wants to be spared. They stalled him out and didn't even realize what they did. Man, maybe they did, because right now, if they do go ahead and execute him, then they'll get what they want and get him begging for his life now, 17 years later, when 17 years ago he welcomed the death penalty. Put it in the comments what y'all think of that, man. You understand what I'm trying to say? Let's keep it moving.
Some people might say you are the devil.
Maybe. Look me in my eyes and tell me what you see.
I don't think that would be cut out for television.
I ain't gonna front, right? If that was me back then, I know me back then because I got into it with one of my lawyers like that. I would have spit in their face for even saying that. You know? I mean, you're supposed to be doing an interview and you interact in your personal feelings and emotions in this when you see that this is a different breed. This is not normal. So don't antagonize it because the glass is there, because you wouldn't say that without the glass there, because you don't know what would have happened. And that's the same thing that's happening now with social media, where people get cocky because they have a keyboard and a screen in front of them. And they can say what they want to say things they would never say to a person in their face. But I think that was rude of that young lady to say that at that time in this circumstance. We know the boy lost. You know, let's keep it moving. See, now she got an attitude. You can't get in your feelings. You're interviewing.
How long have you been? You came here what day?
Man, I've been in this bitch about 2 or 3 days. I ain't even counting. I'm just waiting on them to sentence me. Come on with my lawyer. I don't even need a fucking lawyer.
See?
Do you have a lawyer yet?
Nah, I ain't got the money for one I showed. Hell, ain't got no $1 million for no fucking bond or no 100 G's either. Shit, if I did, I wouldn't have robbed a nigga and murdered.
What were you robbing him for? Drug money?
Money, car, and whatever the fuck else came with it. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't have been no drugs if that's the case. I know plenty of dope boys to go hit. They holding keys and pounds. You know what I'm saying? But why do that when I might get caught with the dope and still get a kingpin charge? You know what I'm saying?
Do you regret robbing him?
Do I regret it?
Do you wish you would have never gone to Garland that night?
Yeah.
Honest.
But you don't regret killing him. You just wish you would have avoided that situation.
I wish I wouldn't have had that pistol on me. Then I wouldn't have murked. But some of them gonna still get robbed either way it go. You know what I'm saying?
Prime example of what I've been teaching today. That's all mollifying. You know, I wish I ain't had the pistol. Still, we gonna get robbed anyway. You know, somebody was gonna do it. You know, that's like, you know, yeah, I sold drugs, but if I didn't sell it, who else gonna sell it? Somebody gonna do it. So I'm one person. What am I gonna stop for me to stop selling? You'll stop putting out 330 kilos of crack cocaine. That's what you'll do. All right, let's keep it moving.
Because that was the whole agenda was.
And right now, as we're talking, they're burying these two men in their funerals. Still not an ounce of sympathy, not an ounce of remorse for them or their families?
No. Fuck. Them and they fucking family.
All right, thank you.
That was that. And this is, you know, who he is now. And today, cause we still ride. It's 30-something. I got to give him a special joint. This might be an hour, but I'm gonna go ahead right now and do this live. We're gonna give him Fat Joe even stepped up to speak up in his behalf, so you understand, right? Let's see what Fat Joe got to say. Cause we got Fat Joe, Young Thug, T.I. You know, they stepped up because they're using his lyrics, but they also got this confession, and that's what corroborates the lyrics. So this wasn't a poster boy, but you know, for this situation. You know, it definitely was not. Let's go. We did that, right? We did. Oh, the Fat Joe joint. My bag. My bag.
Biggest names in hip hop are helping attorneys fight a Texas death penalty case where prosecutors used the defendant's own music lyrics during his sentencing. In 2009, the defendant, James Bodock, who is black, was convicted for the 2008 murders and robbery of two white men in Garland, Texas. Bodock was sentenced to death instead of life without parole by an all-white jury. A major factor in his sentencing was 40 pages of his own handwritten rap lyrics, which some say is unconstitutional. Some argue this is a violation of free speech and creative expression. Now, Bodock's lawyers are asking the U.S. Supreme Court to halt his execution, which is scheduled for April 30th, and rehear the case. Grammy-nominated rapper Fat Joe is one of the artists lending his voice to fight the execution next month. He joins us. Tell us about how you learned about this case and what made you want to sign on to this petition with people like Killer Mike, T.I., Young Thug, and Nori.
Before we speak, I just want to say thank you, brothers, for stepping up. But I had to show both sides. I didn't want to just have one side out there so that you know how to deal with the situation. He had that emotionless interview. And that's what, caused a lot of this.
I just happen to know that hip hop music comes from a place of creativity and imagination. And there's no way on earth that the stuff that we write is actually real. So it's no different than you watching a movie or you reading a book or whatever. So to see somebody go to trial with the lyrics they used on songs that they came up from their imagination to be used against them, it's a crime in itself. And so we have to definitely take care of our freedom of speech, our freedom of expression, our freedom of imagination, our freedom of...
Fat Joe, and hearing you say that, it just made me think of murder mystery writers. They can write the most extreme scenarios, but it's fiction.
And you yourself, you've also admitted to lying in 95% of your rap lyrics because of that creativity.
I wouldn't even say lying. I was just being creative. And whatever, see, the music talks to you. It's hard for someone who doesn't make music to understand this. But when you play the beats tell you what to write. Sometimes it's happy stuff. Sometimes it's depressional stuff. Sometimes it's party stuff. So you're just making, if I take a kid, I'm in the Bronx right now. If I take a kid off the street right now, he's going to rap about having a mansion, having a Bugatti. This guy ain't got $2 in his pocket. Mm-hmm. But can you hold a person accountable for that in a court of law? And I do believe that the prosecutors and the judges know that this is unfair as well. And so we're just standing up in general, not just this case specifically, but for all cases like this in America.
And there have been other cases where this has been brought up and litigated. But Fat Joe, what do you think people don't understand about rap in particular as an art form? For people who see the lyrics and think that they're very specific, that they might talk about violence, what do you think they are not understanding about this art form?
Yeah, Travis Scott says rap music is being litigated and the culture is being weaponized through this.
We've branded ourselves as so-called keeping it real. So some people think we really keep it so real that the stuff we rap about is actually our real life. Somebody who has kept it real his whole career, Fat Joe, has admitted it publicly that most of my music comes from my imagination and creativity. This is just a fact. And it's unfair to see somebody that go to trial and they use these lyrics against them when we know that they made it up. So I don't know the gentleman personally, but I do know that there's no way those lyrics are... no one's going to say I robbed the bank at 8:52 and robbed the bank at 8:52. And it just doesn't work that way. And it's a shame that this man might lose his life behind these lyrics.
Some of the biggest names in hip hop are helping attorneys fight a Texas death penalty case where prosecutors used the defendant's own music lyrics during his sentencing.
So that's where we at. Even Fat Joe stood up to speak up for him. Put it in the comments. What do you think? Subscribe to my daughter YouTube channel, Juanita Mecca Audio, Real Boss TTTV. Let's put it there so you can see it, know how it's spelled. You know, Real Boss TTTV for your banging mixtapes, Unique Mecca Audio Prison Story, and of course, Unique Mecca Audio and Mecca Audio TV. Alright.
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime. Fresh out the can of 26, he back on the strip, getting back in the mix. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca Audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spend a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. They be whoring uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now you trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend a ear. He started in uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community yours. So we